Hey friends, so you guys know that I'm a handheld wedding videographer and have been for years now, but that I've also reviewed many gimbals on this channel, but none of them have convinced me to switch over to shooting on gimbals for weddings. However, things may have changed now since trying the DJI RS4 combo. I set this gimbal up in a way that makes it fun to use, gives me that smooth footage that I'm after, and isn't overly straining on the arms. So in this video, I'll be showing you guys exactly how I set this up for wedding videography, but it isn't limited to just that use case. And I'll also be reviewing and showcasing most of its main features. But first, a quick disclaimer, DJI did send this over to me, but they have no creative control over my opinions of it, and they won't be seeing this video before you. All right, so first let's talk about what this gimbal has to offer, and then I'll break down my custom setup to get the best possible footage with the DJI RS4 for weddings. It comes with a great carrying case that stores the whole DJI RS4 combo. The gimbal weighs 1,066 grams, which is about 2.35 pounds, and has a max payload of 3 kilograms, which is about 6.6 pounds. It has Teflon coating, which is smoother for balancing the gimbal. Make sure you check out DJI's full video on how to balance this gimbal. The included battery is comfortable and sturdy and has a runtime of 12 hours with a charge time of 2.5 hours. DJI also sent me their BG70 high capacity battery grip, which is much bigger, but extends the battery life up to 29.5 hours. You could film a few weddings with this grip before you'd have to charge it again. It has sturdy tripod feet here, which is great for setting your camera down. And lastly, it comes with an excellent handle for increased maneuverability. Now let's jump into some of its features. It has Bluetooth camera control. This is awesome for triggering recording and utilizing other camera functions such as clear image zoom via the dedicated joystick. You can also use this for power zoom if your lens supports that. This is enabled when the switch on the left side of the gimbal is toggled upward. Once you switch it down, the joystick is used for panning and tilting. And the index finger knob here controls the focus motor included with the RS4 combo. I use the focus motor for zooming my lens rather than for manual focusing. For filming weddings, this is more important to me so I can quickly change my focal length to always get the right framing for my shot. The combo includes a base plate with a spot for the 15mm rod, but because I use a camera cage on my camera, I use the small rig rod clamp to tighten the rod on. What is great about the RS4 is that you can set manual start and end points for the focus motor so that it never over or under turns. If you want to use this for focus or iris, you can change it simply by clicking the button on the side here and then moving the motor where necessary. On the right side of the gimbal, there is a switch for toggling between PTF, PF, and FPV modes. I love how it's a physical switch here. The screen looks great and is responsive. You can access your controls and change settings when necessary. Now this next feature you'll love if you shoot vertical video as well. You can easily switch to vertical mode just like this. Okay, so my favorite feature is how the gimbal auto locks. This is so sweet. While it's on, with one click of the power button, it locks in place, and another click again to unlock it. Or when you hold the power button down to turn it off, it also auto locks, but more compactly. This is an incredible feature for moving from one scene to another and gives me great peace of mind. Moving on now, I want to show you guys how I set this up for weddings. Currently, wedding season is over here in Canada, so I don't have any footage from an actual wedding with the DJI RS4. But for the meantime, check out this footage filmed with this exact setup that I'm about to show you. Now to make this setup work, you're going to need a few extra accessories. This small rig gimbal strap, the Atomos Shinobi 2, the small rig HDMI cable, this small rig monitor mount, and this small rig 15mm rod clamp that I mentioned earlier. The monitor mount goes right into the hot shoe here, and then I put the Atomos Shinobi 2 on. I connect the HDMI cable to the camera. Now this monitor is sweet because you can use it for touch focus and changing your camera settings. The reason I mount the monitor on top instead of using a side mount is that it lets me view what I'm filming straight on. It's the same way that I have my monitor mounted when I'm filming with my handheld rig. Moving on to the camera strap, this strap is specifically designed for this gimbal, and provides another point of stability. You even could go hands-free, as ridiculous as that is. Putting all these pieces together, this is the perfect gimbal setup for wedding videography. Now, it's important to get the right settings nailed within the gimbal so that you can get the exact footage that you're envisioning. You can change settings on the gimbal screen, but for ease of use, I adjust my settings via the DJI Ronin app. Jumping into the app here, this is how I have it set up. I like to keep it pretty simple, so these are just the few settings that I change to get the smoothest footage for weddings. Click on your user profile here and adjust the follow speed to slow and deadband to high. I keep these settings the same for all of my modes. My favorite mode that I use the most is pan follow. Now click Control at the bottom here and go over to the motion tab. For pan, tilt, and roll, adjust as you see here. Deadband high, max speed slow, and smoothness high. Now from everything that you've heard so far, you're probably thinking, wow, this gimbal is really great. And you're right, the RS4 has inspired me to use a gimbal, and I love all the unique features that it has. The only potential cons that I would come across are payload and battery life. Now 6.6 pounds of payload is great, don't get me wrong, but if you use a heavier lens and cage setup, you are on the brink of this being too heavy. This of course is easily absolved by purchasing the DJI RS4 Pro, which has a max payload of 10 pounds, but that also comes with quite an increase in price. The second potential con of battery life being only 12 hours, which isn't quite long enough if you're doing a full-on wedding day, which in the wedding world sometimes you are shooting for more than 12 hours, can also be absolved by purchasing the BG70 battery grip, which bumps you up to 29.5 hours of battery life. So these two cons are minor and there are solutions for them, but it may be something to keep in mind depending on how heavy your camera setup is and how long you're shooting within one day. All right friends, so there you have it. That was my review of the DJI RS4 combo, as well as how I set up this gimbal for wedding videography. I've linked everything in the description below, and a massive thank you to DJI for sending this over to me. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and if you'd like to learn more and watch further demonstrations with the DJI RS4, I've linked their website in the description below as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.